The story, of course, the last couple of days has been the NYPD's surveillance, not just here in New York City, but in New Jersey as well, of some people in the Muslim community. There's outrage. Cory Booker, Governor Christie, Bob Menendez. What?
Well,
Where are you? Where are you
number
on
one,
this?
John, the word surveillance is misused here. Surveillance is something that we do when there is a lead, and what you also do at the same time is just look around, watch television, look at websites, that sort of thing. When there's no leads, just you're trying to get familiar with what's going on and where people might go and where people might be if you to say something, and you want to listen. If they're going to give a public speech, you want to know where they do it.
The threat of terrorism here in New York is paramount.
Look, let's put this into some context. Back in 1993, radical Islamic terrorists exploded a bomb, if you forget about this, in the garage of one of the World Trade Center buildings. Their goal was to collapse the building and kill everyone inside them. That was the goal. They didn't succeed, and the world went about its business, and unfortunately the world forgot. And then terrorists, a few years later, came and back to the same buildings with two airplanes, succeeded in flying two airplanes into those buildings, and killed nearly 3,000 people. I am determined that we do not forget the lesson this time. And I think when I became mayor, I said, most importantly, we've got to keep the people of this city safe. We are not going to repeat the mistakes that we made after the 1993 bombing. And we just cannot let our guard down again. We cannot slacken our vigilance. The threat was real. The threat is real. The threat is not going away. And I said then that the New York City Police Department was going to have a measured response, was going to do what we can, devote the resources necessary to keep this city safe. Reacting after the fact isn't enough. Yes, we train of what happens in disaster, but our first objective, our primary objective, is to prevent things from happening. That's why I call police and fire our first preventers as opposed to our first responders. It'd be great if they never had to respond in that context. And we've got to do everything that the law permits us to do to prevent another terror attack, and we cannot forget that. And so over the last 10 years, the police department, if you go back and look, we've helped prevent something like 14 terrorist attacks of all kinds. And there were plots to blow up synagogues, there were plots to blow up subways, plots to blow up bridges, plots to kill New Yorkers. These haven't gone away. These were real, and it's sobering because if you think about it, we have to be perfect every single time. The terrorists only have to be right once. And that's a standard that is daunting if you think about it. But that has been the standard for the last 10 years, close to 2 months, and that will be the standard for the 12 years that this administration is in office. And that's why I've built relations with senior officials in Washington and around the world. We want to share best practices. We want the intel of seeing what's going on elsewhere. We want to work with our partners in security every night at all different levels of government, so that if there is, we want people to go to bed at night not hearing about a terrorist attack in New York City that day, and wake up in the morning knowing they can go about their business, that they and their children are safe. And everything the New York City Police Department has done is legal, it is appropriate, it is constitutional. They are permitted to travel beyond the borders of New York City to investigate cases. They can look at websites, they can watch television to detect unlawful activities or where there might be unlawful activities, to get leads. We don't target individuals based on race or religion. We follow leads, and we are consistent, I think, with the guidelines resulting from the Handschuh federal court decision. The Handschuh federal court decision was handed down by a Judge Haight, many years ago, about 30 years ago, and it governs the activities of police in cases like this. It sets the standards from a federal point of view of what we can do and what we cannot do. And I think we got to be clear about what we're trying to do here. We're going to continue to take all possible legal steps to keep this city safe. We're going to follow all possible leads wherever they take us. We're the most diverse city in the world. We respect every race and every religion. Nobody stood up for the right to pray or to participate in our democracy more than I have. And that's why terrorists want to destroy us. We threaten them because we actually practice what we preach. And this police department, the police department, I've chosen Ray Kelly because of his experience in the past and his competency to lead. The police department where we've attracted the most diverse police department that really reflects the community. They have the best training. They have the best equipment of any police department in the whole world. We are the standard. They're going to protect New Yorkers. And it is my highest obligation to the people of this city. And I intend to honor that obligation, period. This is not a joke. This is not a political statement or a political football to play with. We are threatened. I don't know if what you have to do, the 1993 bombing that killed a few people and almost brought down a tower, the 9/11, which killed almost 3,000 people, the 14 different terrorist things that we've stopped since then here, the terrorist attacks that have occurred around the world. People have to stop and say, understand, we have to protect ourselves.
Do you think that the criticism that the NYPD has had focused on them over the past few days hinders the goal that you just, or makes more difficult the goal?
Well,
that
I
you
think
just laid out?
I like Paul Brown's comment in one of the newspapers. He said, you know, opening swimming pools is popular. Giving people parking tickets because they can't park illegally while they go in and use the swimming pools is not. It comes with the territory that you're going to have criticism. And democracy's healthy. I would never argue that the right to criticize should be taken away. And I think in most cases, the benefits that you get are more positive than negative, but the consequences of taking away people's right to criticize would destroy America. That's what America's built on, your right to say things. So, yeah, sometimes it gets in the way, sometimes it doesn't. It's not a big thing. The New York City Police Department knows their mission. The police commissioner and I talk about it all the time. We've made the decision. This city is going to be safe. As I said before, we've got to be perfect every single day. The terrorists only have to be right once. And we're so far, and I cannot guarantee tomorrow or anything else. I just can guarantee we're not going to let up. We're not going to walk away. We are going to, however, at the same time, obey the law. And that's what I think a lot of these news stories, they try to take it out of context or they just say it's wrong because they don't think it's right. We obey the law, and then within that context, we protect you.
The New York Police Department's anti-terrorist department and crew has members, I think you know precisely, but there's members overseas.
We have a number of, a dozen or so around the world. Why? Look, we work phenomenally well with the FBI and the CIA. These are agencies. The New York City Police Department is the one agency that they for sure will work with. In some senses, we're bigger. We probably have more Urdu and Pashto speakers than those two agencies put together. But it is, you still have to go out and follow the leads wherever they go. And you talked about the criticism for people in New Jersey. Number one, this particular thing that's in the paper, we did brief the Newark Police Department. We did not, to the best of my knowledge, brief Mayor Booker. So when Mayor Booker says he did not know, he's telling the truth.
So there's a question as to why the police department did not, but so be it.
There is a Newark police liaison who is assigned to liaison with NYPD. Police departments in the immediate area all have great contacts with the NYPD because people cross these man-drawn borders. Sometimes, I guess, in the case of the Hudson River, it's not. But the police departments follow leads wherever and threats wherever they come from, and you can go perfectly legal, 100% legal for them. They can go into any state. And you got to also remember, an awful lot of the 9/11 hijackers stayed in New Jersey for extended periods of time, training, planning their attacks. The 9/11 Commission report said hijackers often traveled to and from New Jersey, and Mohammed Alta, the ringleader of the attacks, often met with others in Newark to coordinate and plan the attacks, and including selecting which flights to hijack. there's a reason to take a look at Newark here and to help the people
London,
it'd just be naive to think that we should stop following threats when they got to the border, and the courts say you can follow them. And keep in mind, the people of Newark, New Jersey, are protected as well. The NYPD is trying to stop terrorism in the entire region. We don't stop. If we knew of a threat in Newark, we wouldn't say, "Oh, that's yours. You worry about it." Quite the contrary.
The events that are being talked about are a couple of years old, as I understand it. But I can only assume that this type of thing continues.
I
all
think
of the reasons you've laid out.
Let me be careful how I phrase it. We have not let down our guard. We take the threats of today just as seriously as the threats of September 12th, 2001. We have not forgotten the lesson of that terrible day on 9/11, and we are not going to forget that. In fact, that was one of the reasons that I kept using when I went out and helped raise $450-odd million to build the memorial. People said to me, well, wouldn't the money be better spent on schools? It'd be great to have more money for schools. Wouldn't it be better spent on helping people in need? Yes, that would be great. But safety is the first thing. And the purpose of the memorial, to the families, it's a place to grieve. But to everybody else, it is the place to keep relearning the lesson that freedoms are fragile, that we have to fight for them every day. You still read in the paper of young men and women being killed in Afghanistan or elsewhere around the world. You read about police officers being killed on the streets. It happens a lot less frequently than it used to, and thank God. But it is still, there are people who every day have to put their lives on the line so that you and I can be safe from terrorists from other parts of the world or from the United States, or what we would call street crime, things. If you killed, there isn't really a difference. But we take our job seriously in that, and we have 1,000 police officers devoted to intelligence and counterterrorism, and we're not walking away from that. So without getting into what specifically we do, I think you can go to bed tonight believing that the NYPD is doing not only a good job, we had probably, since we continuously learn, I would argue we're doing a better job with time than we did, and hopefully tomorrow we'll do an even better one.
All right, Mr. Mayor, thank you. Why don't you take another break here on our program on a Friday morning. 8:33 is our time. Time for Joe Bartlett. Joe?